Actually, it was my mom's secret. But I want to share with you what happened. So, I grew up in a really normal family. Mom, dad, sister. You know, we weren't white picket fence, but, you know, we were normal. So, my mom died when I was 15. She was 48. She had cancer. She passed away. I grew up in the north, but my dad was from the south. So when my mom died, we moved south. So fast forward, God, I don't know. I mean, I was about, I'm going to say it was like 2012. And I'm in the grocery store. And this man walks up to me that I had known my whole life. He was a friend of my parents. And my dad had died. He had Alzheimer's disease. My mom was gone. So I'm in the grocery store, and this man comes up to me, and he says, you know, you had the best mom. And y'all, I really did. She was so precious and sweet and good, and everybody loved her. And so I said, yeah, I did, you know. And he said, well, I always hated what happened to her. I thought, well, what's he talking about? And so I was like, yeah. And he said, yeah, they just took that baby away from her, sent her to the home for unwed mothers, you know, and then they just took that baby, and she never got over it. She cried every day, and she looked for it, but she didn't have any way to find it. Y'all, I would think I was standing in front of the ground beef counter, and I almost passed out, right? I mean, I'm like, is he talking about my family? He can't be talking about my family. And so I was like, I don't know about that. And he realized that he had just let the cat out of the bag. He said, oh, well, you know, when young people get together, sometimes, and I stopped him and I was like, you know, I'm 48 years old now, so I know about what happens when young people get together, but I didn't, are you telling me that I have a sibling that I don't know about? I mean, the rush of emotions was real. I mean, I was excited, I was shocked, I almost thought, he's got to have the wrong family. I mean, what is he talking about? So he realized that he had, you know, told me something that he probably shouldn't have told me or thought, because it was such a secret. And so he said, well, I got to go. See you later. And I was still standing there going, this is crazy. So I called my sister on the phone and I said, so just run into so-and-so, and they said, da-da-da. And she said, oh, he's old, and he, you know, he's probably got us confused with somebody else, and there's nothing to that. But I couldn't let it go. But I thought, how am I going to find out? My mom's gone. My dad's gone. Who's going to know? Who's going to be able to answer this question? So I was just, honestly, just kind of floored. So I come home and told my husband, and he was like, there's probably nothing to that, and I'd let that go, and da-da-da. Well, so I knew that there was a lady and a man from Georgia who moved to Michigan back in the 50s, and they opened a boarding house because a lot of the men from the South were moving north for work in the automotive plants, right? So, okay, so I thought, well, maybe she knows something, because my dad lived there and my mom lived there, and I never questioned why they both lived there. I just never even thought to ask. So I said, okay, I'm going to call this lady, and I'm just going to ask. I mean, I'd known her too my whole life. So I called her up maybe the next morning, and I just said, so I saw so-and-so in the grocery store, and he said that my mom had a baby that we didn't know about. It was dead silence on the line. I said, are you there? And she said, he didn't have any business telling you that. That wasn't his secret to tell. I said, well, I'm not mad at anybody, but if I have a sibling, I want to know, because I want to find them. And she said, well, I don't know what happened to that baby. She looked for it, but could never find it. And of course she couldn't. I mean, it was the early 50s. There was no way to find it, right? So she said that it was all my grandma's fault, that my grandmother was ashamed and she was embarrassed and she didn't want the church to know. Nobody loves Jesus more than I do. And God don't make mistakes. So there's that. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, so so she confirms that there was a birth, and but she don't want to talk about it because you're not supposed to talk about it back in the day. So I'm thinking, how am I going to find this out? Well, when I want to know, I find out. And so that started what would end up being a 9-month journey to find my sibling. And so there's a lot more to this story, and I want to share it with you because maybe you have a secret, and maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe there's somebody missing from your life that you would like to find. Maybe you have a secret and you've always been shamed because you made a mistake and, you're looking for healing. So anyway, follow me. I'm going to tell you more of the story. It was a long, tumultuous experience, and I learned a ton. So I just want to share that with you. Shame has no place. Whatever you've done in your life is between you and God. And so anyway, there's a lot to this story. There's happy, there's sad, there's tears, there's joy. So follow me and I'll tell you the rest of the story. Hey, have a great day. See you later.